Hello, everybody. This is José Ignacio from the Uncomfortable Dialogues 2022. For today's dialogue, I am honored to have a fascinating Egyptian leader, Karim Akram. Karim is the co-founder and managing director of Live. Karim and I worked together in P&G many years ago. He was the P&G's Middle East and Africa CIO, and I ran Latin America. At that time, I remember very well when we were charged with an impossible task. It was basically preventing the end of the human civilization. Yes, in other words, it was implementing a massive assessment of our computer systems to avoid the Y2 crisis, or the 2000 doomsday, or even the millennium bug, as we used to call it. Anyway, those were the times when I first met my good friend Karim. Karim is now an uncomfortable entrepreneur. He has put his corporate expertise in the co-pilot seat and has morphed himself from an outstanding regional CIO into a very dynamic business leader, growing Live customers across the Middle East and Africa region incredibly fast. On the personal side, Karim used to be the Egyptian 800 meters running champion. He's also currently a member of the Egyptian Athletics Federation. With any further ado, welcome to our Comfortable Dialogue 2022. How are you doing, Karim?
I'm doing quite well. Startup world is different from corporate world. So
oh yes, we will talk about that one. I can tell you it's
challenging. So quite challenging.
So is your family safe and healthy these days?
Yes. Where everybody's safe and healthy. I think there is this part of belief that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So no matter how bad things are, as long as you just keep on working, keep your, I wouldn't say keep your head down, keep your head a bit down and work hard, but keep it up to see what is where you're heading. You just have to do all of this and have faith that you're gonna get out of it. Nothing bad has ever stayed forever. So you just work hard and believe that it will move on.
Karim, you just mentioned something important about your transition from the corporate world to the entrepreneur world. We often see leaders moving around from industry to industry and appears to be very easy and smooth. So, how was your transition? Did you have the right toolbox in terms of leadership skills and the know-how?
Well, definitely you have to relearn a lot of new skill sets. Success in the corporate world is very different, or being successful in the corporate world, especially with a big company like Procter & Gamble, is very, very different from being successful in a startup. It requires completely different skill set. And I have seen people who failed miserably in the switch from corporate to startups, and the same from startups to corporate. You need to be very, very, like in the corporate world, you have a lot of support functions. You have a lot of smart people to talk and discuss things with. You have access to a lot of references, history, research, guidelines, and so on. In fact, one of the key things, every supplier wants to talk to you. Once you are a startup, no one wants to talk to you. You're reaching out to the same suppliers and they're busy after the big accounts because you're very small. You need to do a lot of things. When the number is small, you need to be better at legal, at accounting, simple administration. So as the company has a few employees, you kind of the joker playing a lot of roles. You want to recruit, you want to lead, you want to get work done, meet with clients. So you really become a completely not multi-skilled across a lot of functions. Mm-hmm. That is one. Now, the other thing is, which was to me a huge change in the way I operate. In corporates, you want profit. You work on cutting costs and growing revenue. In startups, it's a completely different ecosystem. You sit with the venture capitals and they say, forget profit. You want to grow. So you grow, and we don't care much even about sales. You want to grow number of users. You want to grow engagements, client acquisition. This is a huge mindset change for someone coming from a corporate world. It took me probably a couple of years to understand what I need to do to keep my investors happy. But because it is really shocking that, you know what, you can operate under loss and people say, yay, great, well done, you're losing money, but you're growing very fast. So this is kind of a very, very big change. And it's difficult to be comfortable with it, because my DNA for 20 years has been corporate, and all of a sudden I just need to be a loser in my mind, financially losing money. So that's a very, very massive mindset change.
Well, this is very interesting, and you are absolutely right. But the other thing that what you have to learn, I think, is being comfortable in a very uncomfortable space, because there were things that you didn't know how to cope with, and you try it, and then talk to your investors and see if that idea will eventually work out. So
and it comes with the flexibility. Also, there is a lot of different pressure. Okay, you know, in the corporate world, there are some targets, and your manager telling you have to give this report by that time, and so on. In the startup, to me, it's all about managing my cash flow. Am I gonna get the people paid their salaries this month? Is the business still running? Are we growing? Are we growing? It's a very different type of pressure. The conversion from being a support function into the leading function to grow the business is huge, and got me in a very, very uncomfortable situation. Now, first let me explain. My startup is a live app, and that is an application to help residents in compounds communicate and engage in all different forms with management, be it the real estate development company or a homeowner association or a property management. Now, to add to the complexity of me moving from corporate world to startups, this is a situation where you have two different types of clients. I sell my solution to the real estate developers or homeowner associations, but the users, the bulk of them are the residents. I have 150,000 units, residential units. Now, it all started with a hunch, and I was in a homeowner association, and I found that, technology, there's nothing out there, and we started making the solution. And the learning has been that, you have to be very, very close to both clients and users, because at times the requirements are conflicting. Technology is changing very fast, and you discover as you dig deeper that there are big problems that we can address to the app. But at the same time, I got all my technical team fighting that, the app is growing in terms of features and functionality, and you have to kind of balance about what you do. And that also brings me into, you need to be very, very responsive and very, very fast, which is one of the beautiful things in the environment of startups, because corporates are usually slow. They work on very interesting, big things. With startups, you really are you need to be very, very, very fast. I do a lot of focus groups. I meet with the clients a lot. We meet with the users a lot to try to understand their need and kind of project based on the technologies what's going to happen later on.
Karim, we have one final question. So what will be your legacy?
What I'm trying to accomplish is to be able to achieve really my legacy in two areas. One, I know I'm very good with people development, and I believe my legacy would be developing and impacting the quality of leadership and management for as many people as I can. And so this is one. And now within the startup I'm also hoping that I am able to drive the entrepreneurial scene in Egypt into a more global one through the experiences that I have from the corporate world as well as the Egyptian market. So we want to go global. We're going regional this year, and hopefully we'll become global quite soon.
Karim, it has been really a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for the time. And for everybody else watching this dialogue, if you have any questions to Karim or to myself, just write it down here in LinkedIn and YouTube, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you.